Hi and welcome to Skein Studio. My name is Kristen. I'm also known as K10 on Ravelry, that's K10, and Skein Yarn or Skein Yarns pretty much everywhere else. This is episode number 38 and my voice has decided to go. I don't know why. Episode number 38. I thought I would podcast quickly before going into work because it's been ages. It's been, I don't know, probably a month since I've podcasted. So yes, I thought I'd better get one out today. Things have just been really busy, so that's, just the way life is, I suppose. Anyway, I've got lots to talk about today. The first thing I want to talk about is the knit-along. So we're having another podcast knit-along. It's for cardigans. And obviously it's over on the Ravelry group. So if you have cast on a cardigan before... I was just wondering why my camera was flashing. I thought it was saying low battery. If you cast on a cardigan before the 13th of August, come and join in, because that's when it started. I actually meant to podcast a couple of weeks ago, but it just didn't happen. So anyway, the knit-along has started. All you need to do is to knit a cardigan out of hand-dyed yarn. So it could be hand-dyed yarn that you have in your stash, or it could be yarn that you've dyed yourself. So the knit-along goes from the 13th of August through to the 13th of November, so there's still plenty of time. There are a couple of prizes. I'm going to be giving away a sweater quantity of yarn, winner's choice of base and colourway. That'll be one prize, and the lovely Ganesh on Ravelry, that's her Ravelry name, asked me if I'd like some project bags. I was like, oh my god, yes. So she sent me two. One of them is going to be mine. She sent one for me, but this is for another winner. So it's a sweater size project bag, and it's got these cute little Scotty dogs on them. And yeah, lovely pockets inside, plenty of space for your sweater / cardigan projects, and there's also a notions case that'll go with it as well. So you can put your scissors and your pens and whatever you need in there. So thank you so much to Ganesh. Hope I'm saying that right. And that's fantastic. I'll show you the one that she made me. It's a smaller little bag. Oops, wrong way around. And there's little pockets at the front. And it's a cute little drawstring bag. And there's a little notions case that came with it as well, with a cute little Scotty dog. So yes, two wonderful prizes. If you are a hand dyer or a designer and you would like to donate a prize, that would be awesome. You can contact me on Ravelry, I'm K10, or you can email me. My email is hello@skeinyarn.com. Yes, so I've already cast on for my cardigan. I'll get into that later, and there's been quite a few people who have cast on already, which is great. And there's plenty of inspirational patterns and things that people are knitting, and wonderful yarn. So come on over to the group and check it out. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Summertide Mystery Knit-along that's being held by Helen Stewart, who is Curious Handmade. She is, having this mystery knit-along. It starts in a couple of days. Actually starts on the 10th of September. That's when the first clue comes out. The pattern's available now, and we actually did a few colour kits for the mystery knit-along, and so we sort of got involved in it, and that's why I was quite busy last week dyeing up all those kits, which was great. So yes, she was very lovely and gave us a code for 25% off the pattern, which is a really good deal. The code is SKEIN25, that's SKEIN 25. So if you go to the Summertide Mystery Knit Along project, I'll put a link in the show notes. You can buy your pattern for 25% off, and that is until the first clue is released, so until 10th of September. And yes, that goes for a month, and I am going to be knitting it as well. There's lots of people taking part. If you go over to Helen's group, which is Curious Handmade, you'll find a Summertide Mystery Knit Along thread there, and it is chockers. It's full of people posting what yarns they're using, talking about colourways. So yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm planning to knit that, so that'll start in the next couple of days. I'll show you what yarn I'm using actually. I decided, well actually I've been knitting gauge swatches still for the shop. There's over 60 colourways to knit, so it's going to take a while. I'm almost there. I've got, I don't know, I did count them. I think I have about 15 colours left to do. So I've got lots of leftover yarn, and I had 2 skeins of my Uptown sock, which is single ply, that I decided to use for the Mystery Knit Along, and these are the colours. So this one's, it's a variegated yarn, but it's not highly variegated. It's called Night, and you can kind of see in the cake there's nice sort of tonal variation, but it's not crazy colour. So that's going to be my first colour, and then this one is coming up really bright, but it's actually a really soft kind of sea green. This is called Misty Sea, and that will be my other colour. So I can't wait to cast on. Yeah. My other future pattern that I have planned, well actually I don't actually have a pattern, but I have an idea of what I want to do, is a Japanese pattern. Now I did a blog post last week about Japanese patterns, and I got quite a few responses, which was great, and particularly for one pattern that I showed, which I'll show you what it was. Had lots of people asking me where to actually buy the book and what the book was called. So it's this one here. Lots of people contacting me about that. But I am going to do a Japanese pattern. I don't know which one I'm going to do, but I'm going to pick something simple, because I don't know whether you know. If you don't know, Japanese patterns, they're not written, so the instructions are actually in chart form, and which I'll show you. And another nice thing about it is, about Japanese knitting books, is that they use, there's both knitting and crochet. They both feature really heavily. So what's a good example? Okay, say that. So that's what you get. That's your knitting instructions. So it's all in a graph form, and there's a little bit of writing, but I think that's mainly telling you about materials and things, but there's really detailed schematics and yeah, graphs and things, so that's what you basically knit off. So I have loads and loads of Japanese craft books. I have heaps of knitting. I also have a lot of sewing as well, and the sewing books are the same as the knitting. They're all sort of schematic diagrams, so they're not written instructions. And I've actually sewn quite a few things from the books. That was years ago when I was into sewing, but I've never actually knit anything. I have crocheted a few things, and again the crochet, it's exactly the same as the knitting. It's just a diagram, which I think a lot of crochet patterns are like that. And what you do, okay, so you've got the graph and you've got all the symbols that you need. Now online you can find this, but I actually bought a book. It's a clear and simple knitting book. So it shows you exactly what the symbols mean, and it gives you a little picture diagram of how to do the stitches. So you know if you're knitting or you're purling or you're K2 togethering or whatever. So yes, it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's going to be fun. I can't wait. So yeah, I need to find something really, really simple and do it. And of course, online there's so many resources. There's lots of people who teach how to read and how to do Japanese patterns. So there's lots and lots of resources online. But if there's anybody out there who would be keen to do a Japanese pattern with me, just let me know. Maybe we could have sort of a sort of a small knit-along or something, depending on how many people want to do it. Yeah. Anyway, I'll put the link to the blog post in this week's show notes, and you can read up about it if you don't already know what Japanese patterns are all about. And yeah, that's my future, one of my future knits or future projects. The other thing I want to knit too is some simple Skype socks, which is a pattern on Ravelry. It's a free pattern, and Skype itself stands for the stitch pattern, so it's, I think it's slip knit yarn over purl. I could be wrong. But they're just, sorry, my nose is sort of itching and running at the same time. They're just simple socks, and they look great for men and women. So I'm actually going to knit them for my dad. He has requested socks. It's so funny. I made him socks a couple of years ago, and it took him forever to wear them. And then I think it was last year he started wearing them because they moved into a house with tiled floors and it was quite cold. So, and now he just can't take them off, and he's a converted hand knit sock person. He loves them. So he wants another pair. Actually no, I knit him another pair, so this will be his third pair. So yes, I have some BFL sock to make those. And I actually I dyed up the yarn a couple of days ago. It's like a deep green. I'll show you when it's dry. So that's something I'm going to cast on very soon. So lots of things to do. Now, I was looking on Ravelry a couple of weeks ago, and something caught my eye, which I wanted to talk about. It's the Texture is the New Black collection of patterns by Melanie Berg. Now these are also things that I really, really want to knit. So they're sort of on my list, although they're going to have to wait for just a little while. But yeah, so Melanie Berg brought out this lovely Texture is the New Black collection. So there's a hat, there's gloves, she's got a cardigan, this gorgeous shawl, and a pullover. Now that shawl, it's called the Sunwalker shawl. That's something I really, really want to knit. And it's been in the Hot Right Now on Ravelry for ages. It's a big hit. Oops. Oh, that's it there. So each of these patterns, of course, have some sort of textural element. And yeah, it's just lovely. I bought the ebook. Oh, what are you doing? I actually bought the ebook, and I was almost going to cast on for the pullover. And then I decided to have the knit along, so I decided to just hold off on that for a little bit. Come on. Always happens when I'm podcasting. Slow internet. So this is the pullover. It's called Threshold. That's it there. So you can see the lovely texture on the front and the sleeves. Yeah, it's just such a lovely collection, and I think it was really well received when it came out. And she does lots of lovely patterns. So there's all of them. So you've got the hat, got the gloves, cardigan, got the shawl, and then the pullover. So yes, really keen to do both the shawl and the pullover. I don't really wear hats that much. I think it's just the climate that we live in. Hats and gloves, just it's too hot, even in winter, to wear hats and gloves. But definitely a shawl and a pullover would be fantastic. So I just thought I wanted to mention that. Now, what have I been working on? Lots of swatches, as I mentioned. I don't know how many I've knit, lots so far. They're just never ending. And I'm not complaining because I actually quite like knitting them, but yeah. I started this cardigan maybe a week ago, and I was so glad to get something that wasn't a swatch on the needles. So the cardigan that I'm knitting for this knit along is called Reagan by Elizabeth Kramer. I have a picture here. You're so slow, internet. I don't know why, it's because I'm podcasting. That's it there. So I saw this on my friend's feed on Ravelry. Oh, you know, the friend thing that you can look at. And a couple of people had posted this before it had come out, and I was like, oh, I must knit that. And when I decided to do the cardigan knit along, I had chosen another cardigan, which I'm going to knit later. It was the Belmont cardigan. I think I might have mentioned it last time I spoke. I can't remember if I mentioned it last podcast. Anyway, and this hadn't come out, so I actually dyed up yarn for the other cardigan, and I had actually cast on, and then all of a sudden this cardigan came out, and I was like, no, I have to knit this. So luckily enough, the Reagan is the same weight of yarn that my other cardigan was. It's fingering weight, so I could just rip out what I'd already done and cast on for this. And it's a really interesting construction. So at the moment it looks like this. I took this down to my parents' place last weekend, and my mum was like, oh, you're knitting a scarf. No, it's a cardigan. So you knit this is basically the back part and sleeves. So it's just one long, well, actually you knit back and forth this part, and then you join it together for the sleeve. So I'm knitting in the round now, so that's the second sleeve, and this is the first sleeve that I did. And then what you do is you actually pick up all the way around the cardigan, so all up the top, around the sleeves, and then down the bottom, and you knit the lace section. So that's coming next. There's another picture. Okay, that probably explains it a bit better. So you can see the back part here, and the sleeves are in stockinette stitch, and then that bottom part is the lace, and that's where you pick up. So that's what I'm doing. And honestly, I've enjoyed this so much. I was actually knitting on it last night, and I was really tired. I was watching something on TV, and I didn't want to put it down and go to bed. I just want to get it done, because it's not a gauge swatch. It's something real. So yeah, almost finished the second sleeve. Oh, the yarn is called Shimmer. It's a skein yarn, and you probably can't see it, but it has stellina in it. So it, yeah, shimmers, hence the name. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. Anyway, the yarn, the colourway is called Honey Bunch, and it's obviously lovely yellow. And yeah, this is sort of I picked this because we're obviously heading into summer. We're in spring at the moment, so heading into summer. And I wanted something nice and light that I could wear at night. Or if it's a cool sort of coolish spring day, I could just put on this cardigan. So that was the plan, and yeah, enjoying it. So yeah, if you've got an idea for a cardigan, you've got some yarn, come and join in. Just head on over to the Ravelry group and you'll see the knit along thread, and yeah, be good to see you over there. Now, in the mail, I did actually get a couple of things in the mail this week. No, it was last week. Was it last week? Might have been the week before. Time just goes too quick. The lovely Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade sent me some yarn. So she was in Australia not that long ago, and we were going to meet up. She was visiting family who are in Queensland, and the border's not that far away from here. And she was going to come down with her family and do a quick visit, but as is always the case when you're meeting up with family and you're visiting, things just got too busy and it didn't happen. But next time, hopefully. Anyway, she was so lovely. When she got home, she sent me some yarn. So this is lovely Madeline Tosh. It's the Tosh Merino Light. Now, I've heard about this yarn, but I haven't actually knit with it yet, and I haven't seen it. So we have no yarn stores around here. So I've seen it online, but I haven't seen it in person. And this is the lovely Holly Festival. So it's a speckled dye. And not only did she send this, but she also sent some unicorn tails, which again I've heard about but I haven't seen. Oh geez, that's way brighter than what they look like in person. So that's to go with that. And I really want to knit these together, so I'm hoping I have an idea of what I'm going to knit. I probably won't be able to show it because it's a test knit for someone, but yes, that's the plan, to combine these in a test knit. It's a shawl. So yes, very lucky. And of course the bags came as well. I think that was 2 weeks ago. So yes, very lovely mail weeks. Alright, I think that's everything. It seemed to go very quickly. Okay, well, yeah, come on over to the group. Come and join us over on Ravelry. I'm K10 on Ravelry. Come and join in and do along if you like. Be good to see you, and yeah, I hope you're all well. And yeah, hopefully it won't be another month before I podcast. Hopefully I can get one done in another 2 weeks. I'm planning on it. I've even put it on my calendar on my iPad so I alert myself to do it. Otherwise, weeks just kind of disappear. I'm just so busy that things just go. Weeks just go. Anyway, yes, hope you're all well, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.